All right, in this lesson, factoring differences of squares. All right, this is probably one of the easier methods of factoring. You'll have something like this: x squared minus 16. I'll say factor this. Okay, if this was an equation, let's just say y equals x squared minus 16. Your basic parabola. Okay, if this was just y squared, it'll be a parabola going through your origin. Okay, that will be your basic parabola. That will just be y equals x squared. When you have y equals x squared minus 16, this minus 16 will do something to the parabola. Anybody have an idea of what it'll do?
It'll move it over 16. Or no, 16 now.
Very good. Okay, so this minus 16 will actually take this parabola and move it down 16 units. So it'll be way down here somewhere. Okay, when it comes up, okay, it's going to cross the x-axis when it comes up again. Right, but where does it cross the x-axis? So similar to your trinomials, you have x squared. There is no middle term here, so this is like a 0x minus 16. So if we're looking for factors of negative 16 that add up to 0, right, factors of negative 16 that add up to 0 when I break this down into two sets of parentheses. So this will be x and x. And what are factors of 16 so that will add up to 0? Okay, so factors of negative 16 that add up to 0 are positive 4 and negative 4. So I'll have x plus 4 and x minus 4. So when this parabola comes up from the bottom here, it's going to cross at 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to cross here at positive 4, and it's going to cross here at negative 4. So my parabola will go something like this. And this is factoring the difference of squares. All right, so this minus 16 will just bring your parabola down. Let's take another example. What if this was x squared plus 16? Now what would I be able to factor this into? This is y equals x squared plus 16.
X squared plus 0x plus 16.
Okay, so we don't have to write the 0x, but can I break this up into two parentheses? Are there factors of 16 that will give me positive 16 that will give me 0?
X plus 4.
X plus 4, x plus 4, or x plus 4, x minus 4, what?
X plus 4.
Think about what's happening here, right? So if this is my x squared, my graph x squared, this positive 16 is going to do what to my graph? What's this going to do? Okay, so it's going to shift it upwards. So it's going to shift it way up here somewhere, and then my graph will start here. Will this graph cross the x-axis? No. Okay, so this is not factorable. Right now, you cannot factor this. So make sure you know the difference between x squared minus 16, x squared plus 16. You cannot factor x squared plus 16. Not yet. Okay, eventually we'll show you ways to do it with imaginary numbers, but any real numbers you won't be able to factor. All right, so make sure you know the difference. A very common mistake is everybody wants to see x plus 16, they'll do x plus 4, x minus 4. But if you FOIL this, you're going to get x squared plus 4x minus 4x minus 16, and you simplify this to x squared minus 16. Do these match? Okay, so these don't match. So be careful when you see the plus sign or the minus sign. It's a difference of squares. So when you have subtraction, you can factor it. When it's addition, you can't factor it because your parabola never crosses the x-axis. Okay, next example, m squared minus 25, just simplifying this. All right, so you're pretty much, when you're looking at these differences of squares, you're pretty much thinking, what is the square root of 25? Square root of 25, or what times itself is 5. That's why they call it. So when you break this up, m, my last sign is negative, so my signs have to be opposites. And then factors of 25, that will give me 0, 5, and 5. (49x squared minus 16). Same difference, except now you have a 49 in the front. Factors. So factors of 49. So again, you want to be thinking square root of 49, square root of 16, in a sense. Factors of 49 that you can split evenly. 7x, 7x. Factors of negative 16, minus 4, plus 4. FOIL this, you'll get 49 x squared plus 28x minus 28x minus 16. My positive 28x and my minus 28x will simplify. 49x squared minus 16. Check. Okay, 8m cubed minus 128m. I want to factor this. This is not a quadratic. It's not a square. What do you think you could do here?
Factor out
Yeah, I could factor out an m
and
and you can factor out an m and what else?
8.
You can factor out 8 from this.
Yes.
Okay. Or, alright, so if you factor out 8, what are you left with? M squared
Squared minus
minus
16.
16. 8m times m plus 4, m minus 4. So factor out what you can. Okay, let's go one more, two more. 16x squared minus 9, so in this case you're solving. Alright, just going to take one extra step. So break this in to two parentheses. There's two ways to do this. So this would be 4x minus 3, 4x plus 3. Alright, so we got this. Set equal to 0, and just take your last step. Set each product equal to 0. 4x minus 3 equals 0. 4x plus 3 equals 0. Solve for x, add 3 to both sides, divide by 4. X equals 3/4. Here x equals negative 3/4. And it should be the same. Another way of doing this, let me just show you real quick. This could have been 16x squared minus 9 equals 0. You could add 9 to both sides here. If you're just solving, okay. 16x squared equals 9. Divide both sides by 16. So you get x squared equals 9/16. And then you take the square root of both sides. Square root equals 3/4, but when you take the square root, it's going to be positive 3/4 or negative 3/4. So plus or minus 3/4. K squared minus 49/64 equals 0. Okay, if you're solving this, I'll take either method, so either the two methods that we did. Since we're in the mood of factoring, let's keep factoring this. So this is going to be k plus minus 49/64. What does this break up into? 7/8 plus 7/8 minus 7/8 equals 0. Solve both of these. K plus 7/8 equals 0. K minus 7/8 equals 0. And here, K equals, I'll let you take a shortcut here, plus or minus 7/8.